One moment can change a life forever. A traumatic event, a difficult battle, a painful chapter. The journey of actress Lisa Regina began with surviving violence. Through writing, she found healing. Through healing, she found purpose. Today, Heroic Episodes shines a light on those who rise, rebuild, and transform pain into strength. These are stories of courage, stories of resilience, stories of hope. Welcome to Heroic Episodes.
Hey everyone, welcome to Heroic Episodes Live. I'm Lisa Regina, the founder of the nonprofit A Right to Heal and the creator of Heroic Episodes. And we join here every Thursday at 7 p.m. with veterans, with advocates, and artists, all who choose to heal, to create, and to inspire. And as a survivor, I know firsthand that storytelling can truly be healing. And I am joined every week with my friend, patriot, author of Rock and Soul, associate producer of Heroic Episodes, Barry Morgenstein.
Hey, Lisa. Great to be back. Another great episode ahead.
Yes, good to see you.
Yeah, excited for this one.
So tonight our guest, another amazing person, creative artist, filmmaker, award-winning, someone that you introduced me to. Once again, someone that I met from...
Great friend, great guy.
Yes, and I'm not seeing him backstage, so I'm going to chat for a minute.
Well, he was out in the heat. He was out in the heat. He probably passed out.
He was out in here we go, 105 degrees.
Exactly.
So what did you do to stay cool today?
Oh, I just stayed in.
Stayed in the air conditioning.
Only went out to get a few supplies for July 4th, but other than that, stayed in air conditioning. But it's brutal out there. It's pretty hot.
It's brutal, and we were on the beach. I must admit, we were on the beach, and the ocean was ice cold.
Yeah,
but
that's
refreshing.
Surprising. But after this weekend, by next week when I'm with you at the beach, I expect it to be warm. The water.
It should be around 80 degrees. Yeah. I'm actually calling Chris.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can hear him.
Telephone number.
Oh, he's not. Here he comes.
Here he comes.
So tonight we have Christopher Martini, award-winning director. What I love about Chris is he really loves our veterans and has military in his family, and his film Trooper really shines the light on veterans and some of the issues that really should be spoken about. And tonight we're here, though, to really learn more about his most recent film project, Everybody's Angel. And I grew up watching Stuart Margolin, two-time Emmy Award-winning actor. And I just think it's amazing that Chris is here and we get the inside scoop. We get behind the scene to really learn about his relationship with Stuart and also the new film that he's making. Do you remember Stuart, Barry?
Sure. Yeah. When Chris comes on, I'm going to tell you my first memory of when I first saw him and took note of his acting talents.
Well, let's get Chris on here. Christopher Martini, welcome to Heroic Episodes.
Hey, Chris. Welcome.
Hey, you guys. Sorry about the Wi-Fi there. So let me know if I go. I'm connected to my phone now. So let me know if I go in and out.
Okay. So far, so good.
So far, good.
Thank you for having me on.
Thanks for joining us.
We're
excited.
In DC in this oven. This outside
I said I was going to put this up 105. Is that about right?
I mean, it's really hot. Anyways.
Hey, Chris, if you pass out, we have Jack and Mandy waiting in the wings. They'll fill in.
That's
amazing. Love them.
Yeah.
I want to put up your website right away because I love that your last name is Martini, because who doesn't like a martini? And triplemartiniproductions.com is just easy to remember. There you go. So,
Yeah. So do you want to know where the triple martini comes from?
yeah,
Sure.
I do.
So,
Tell us.
so I was sitting out. This is when I was in NYU film school, and I was sitting with my brother and a few of his friends. And one of his friends, I had to come up with a name for my production company, and his friend just came up with Triple Martini Productions, and he was referencing a very strong martini, obviously. But which I do like, so I am a cliche, but
Excuse me.
but 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 the reason I liked it a lot was because my brother and sister and I are both in film. We're all three of us are in film, and that is kind of tied into Stuart, which I know we're going to talk about. So
Yes.
I liked the idea of like
Excuse me.
the three of us, the triple martini,
Yeah, it's perfect.
three of us kind of sticking together, just to show how family is really important.
That's awesome.
That's great.
So, everyone in your family's in the film industry? I thought I remember you saying your mom was not.
Yeah, so my mom was
Excuse me.
a parole officer, so she's the odd one out. But she did write some scripts. So my stepfather was Stuart Margolin, and he was a two-time Emmy Award-winning character actor from The Rockford Files, MASH, all these different shows. He was in The Love Boat, The Monkees. He was in Death Wish. He was in Days of Heaven. He was in the X-Files. So he's got a career spanning
Amazing.
uh, 60 years, I think, in film and television. Kelly's Heroes. He was in Kelly's Heroes, one of my favorite movies. My mom was a parole officer and screenwriter. My sister is a very accomplished costume designer.
Oh,
She
wow.
actually she dressed Marlon Brando. She worked with Jonathan Demme.
She's on the
Spike
West
Lee.
Coast, Chris?
Yeah, she's on the West Coast. So
Yeah.
if you watch the Super Bowl every year, you're probably going to see 2, 3, and I one year even 4 commercials that she had costume design during the Super Bowl. So she's very good. She's won awards. She's going to be
That's
doing my next
amazing.
movie. And my brother is an actor. So I was always putting him on camera, even before high school. Before high school, I was making movies.
What's your
And
brother's name?
Max Martini.
Max
So
Martini.
now Max, his career really got started, and I actually shot his audition tape for this. But he was in a movie called Contact with Jodie Foster.
Oh, I didn't know you
Um,
said that.
I
Wow.
remember
yeah,
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
played
great
like
movie.
now he always plays like cops and
Military.
military.
Right.
And it's funny, in that movie he's like a surfer. That's like who he used to be, like kind of a crazy surfer dude. That was more like the younger Max that I knew. And then but from that movie he got Saving Private Ryan. Now
Really?
that was the big movie that really jump started things. Well, at first it was Contact, but really it was Saving Private Ryan. I have a little bit of story about that. So when that movie came out, as you guys know, it was the war scenes were very realistic. I mean,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
the first time that anyone
Brutal.
has seen war like that. Janusz Kaminski shot that, and I was, because Max was in it. And by the way, this is really interesting. So, and maybe you guys know this already, but a lot of the actors in that movie were filmmakers. Ed Burns,
Oh, yeah, that's
Giovanni
right.
Ribisi. So he was in this group of Vin Diesel. All of them had made movies. So he was in this like small group of actors that made movies, and so I was invited to the cast and crew screening. It wasn't the premiere, but it was a big screening. I was sitting. Dale Dye was in front of me. I could see the back of his neck sweating. He was so close to me, So it was he's the guy who does all the technical advising for military. He takes all the actors
Right.
through boot camp on all these big war movies. I think he did Platoon and
He
all
did,
these.
right.
Yeah.
But he was, see, I was sitting in this theater, seeing war depicted so realistically. Now, my brother in that movie, there were two guys with Matt Damon, and he was one of the guys that popped up from the grass. He was like actually the officer of Matt Damon's unit, I think. And he gets shot horrendously in that movie. I mean, there's a scene where he's in the tower and the German goes up the stairway and he gets shot in the neck and there's like blood going everywhere. And I'm just, because it's like my brother up on the screen,
right? Yeah,
like dying in the most horrific way, in a really realistic way. So it was that movie made an impression on me. And my brother and I made a short film in LA, and Spielberg actually gave us all of our film stock. So we shot it on 35 millimeter, and Max had done Save It Private Ryan. And so we were able to walk into DreamWorks and ask Steven Spielberg if he would give us film stock, which he did. So when we went to Kodak, back when we were shooting on film, we went into Kodak and we walked in there and we said DreamWorks, and they took us to the front of the line and like slapped, all of our film. He gave us all the film we needed. So Spielberg's a really, I can just say personally, really generous guy. But yeah, my brother's an actor.
That's awesome.
We have to mention he was in 13 Hours. Also played Mark.
Was he?
Guys.
That might actually be my favorite. Movie. I think it might be my favorite movie that my brother was in, where he was good and the movie was good. The script was like everything.
Major
role. My favorite all-around movie that he was in is probably 13 Hours.
13 Hours. That was
I love that
film.
movie, and the fact that I photographed the real guys, Mark Oz guys too, and your brother played him, so it's kind of a nice little connection.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty good friends with Tig now, and I know Peranto, and so it's cool, really cool to know the real guys.
Right.
Barry, you know them all that really lived
you and
through
Barry,
that.
know a lot of the same people, right?
Well, those handsome
a lot of
guys.
Same friends. Mandy Smith is on tonight saying hi.
This is one of my favorite photos.
I love that. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Hey, Shelley.
Hey, Shelley.
Mandy.
Hey, Mandy.
Barry's wearing my shirt, I think, in that one. But
it looks
we wore
like
the same
outfit.
outfit.
The same.
Chris, where are we in that shot?
That was that at the Blue Magazine event?
Oh, that's it. Yeah. We've been to
Blue Magazine. Yeah.
Nice.
Chris is always my date, so I get confused where we were.
Chris, were you and your brother competitive with acting? Because I know that you started out as an actor as well, right?
Oh, you're going right into the
Well, I just think if I had a sibling that was an actor, which I never did because they were complete polar opposites of me, but I would think it would be a little.
You're a little psychic, Lisa. This is good. So we're not competitive for acting, but he's gonna hate this if he watches this. But I do notice a little pattern where he takes after. He does follow in my footsteps a little bit, But
are you close in age?
Max is 5 years older. Of course, we're competitive. We're all in the arts,
Yes.
Yeah.
So what was it like in the Stuart Margolin household? Because all this creative energy under one rooftop. I mean, that's amazing. But he must have had such an impact and influence on you.
Well, one little story says it all. So I was born in Texas. My mom and Stuart met in juvenile court. This is really funny. So Stuart had, you can't play Angel without really being a little bit like Angel, right? So he was. So he was like, he got busted for speeding tickets when he was young, and he met my mom in court, and she was a youth judge, because in Texas back then they like to humiliate they like to humiliate you into not committing crimes, so they would get your peers to judge you, which I think is great. I think that's brilliant, but so my mom was the judge and he was like busted for speeding tickets, and that's where they met. But what was it like growing up? Well, I'll give you a little story that I think kind of sums it up. he moved us to a little island in called Salt Spring Island in British Columbia. So part of my upbringing was in Canada. So I like to poke fun at Canadians because I know them. But but like but yeah, so we were on this island, and one Christmas we were building a bigger house, so he moved us into this small little kind of cottage. So we lived in this little cottage for a little while, and one Christmas, we had the tree. They said someone's coming over, and guess who came over? It was Billy D. Williams. Like walks in, and
Nice.
and he's like Santa Claus, Black Santa Claus, and he had a bag over his shoulder of toys, like literally Santa Claus. And
Yeah.
in
It's Santa.
in this bag are it's filled with Star Wars figures, so it was like, so part of this was like, it was kind of crazy because these were just people to me. But I do remember people recognize him on the street, and it happened a lot in the 80s, and
Sure.
80s, early 90s, and then it kind of tapered off a little bit. He was always running lines. He was always had like acting roles that he was preparing for, or like so many times I ran lines with him and I got to see him work.
That's cool.
And in this documentary there's scripts that you can see his thought process, which I find really interesting. So he, character actors would like bring so much. You got like the Rockford Files had some of the best writers in television. It was like David Chase and all these others. David Chase did The Sopranos, and and
yeah, I didn't know
like,
he did Rockford Files. That's
and all these big shows, and so you got great writing, but then you get a great actor like Stewart. And by the way, NBC didn't want Stewart to play Angel on the Rockford Files, but you get these great writers, and then you get a great character actor like Stewart, who would take what was written, but then on set when he's performing the role would do things that you can't even imagine, that you didn't even expect. And so it's just a great example of, because I'm also an editor, and when I'm editing, I can see the difference between a great actor and just everybody else, because they give you so much more than you can ever expect. And
He just pops off the screen. I mean, I remember him a lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I was telling Chris, like I always tell you, my first remembrance of your stepdad was in an episode of MASH. He was he was a guest star.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like one of those things. Sometimes you see a character actor and you recognize, the face, and you may not know the name, but whenever he's going to be in a scene or a movie, he's going to be great. But I just always remember he was in this one episode. I don't know why it stands out so much, because that was one of my favorite shows, and they had a lot of great guest stars. But his episode, against whoever played Hot Lips, I forget her name, and Alan Alda, it was just like, he just stood out so much in that episode. He was so funny and just such a good actor. It's like, and I always remembered him ever since then.
Yeah, no, he was great. I knew Sally Kellerman, and because they were friends, and she played
the original Hot Lips. The original Hot Lips, right?
The original Hot Lips.
Right.
I got my wisdom teeth taken out, and I stayed at her house, and I was like, it was so weird. I was like 10 years old, and I had all 4 wisdom teeth taken out. So I'm like in her bed, like with my face is like swollen like this, and like she walks in, she's like, she had that like deep voice, like, can I get you it's just like, so part of my upbringing was like surreal. But
yeah, not everybody can say they woke up in Hot Lips.
Hot Lips bed, yeah.
The thing that Stewart really, did for me is, he helped show me cinema, which I love. Like in our house were laser discs. Remember laser discs? So we had we had their like cassettes and everything, but he had like some of the greatest movies. So like I was like 10 years old, 12 years old, watching Kurosawa, watching like Bergman. I mean, this is why I'm obsessed with movies, because
Sure.
these movies were in our house, like Sunset Boulevard, all
Sure.
these great movies. And I watched them all like 100 times.
All the
And
classics.
the classics. And I really wanted to make movies. And it's not because he did it, but just because he showed me that world. And,
Yeah.
he put me in a movie called The Glitter Dome, where I was in a scene with John Lithgow, and he directed it. So I was
Wow.
10 years old, and I was a child actor in a scene with John Lithgow. And I never really wanted to be an actor. I was playing like he was a suicidal cop, and I was like his flashback. I was like the kid that he didn't save. And so I'm like covered in blood. It's just weird, right? I'm just, but
Yeah.
but I loved movies. I remember the cinematographer putting the light meter in my face, and the scene was like there was like a fog machine, there was a smoke machine, and just it was lit really well, and there was like green lights and blue lights, and and I just fell in love with it. Just fell in love with being on set. So I never asked Stuart to get me a job. So I worked some of the shittiest jobs on movie sets that you can ever imagine.
Every level of production.
I did
Everything.
I did every level of production. I worked almost every job on set because I wanted to learn what everyone did. And a lot of people on set couldn't believe it, because they were like, this kid's like, his dad is like kind of famous, and
Right.
here he is like getting coffee, tripping on cables, stopping traffic, hauling like giant air conditioner tubes, through
Yeah.
buildings to keep James Garner cool, and like, some of the crappiest
Yeah.
stuff. But it's like I don't think you can be a director if you don't know what every single person does. I mean,
Yeah.
so I think like, with AI and sort of YouTube, and now you've got these sort of like influencer filmmakers. I think that some of them are going to have a problem when they come on set and they're working with like,
The
like
real deal.
professional crew that, but yeah. So anyways, I don't know.
Bad Rob says he can't wait to see the documentary. He says, "Hi, goat."
Hey, Rob. Rob is always with us. This
is something I do with him. I do this with him. It's our inside joke, because he would come on set and do this, and he's like, I know I can't look Mr. Martini in the eyes when I'm on set. It's a joke
David
because
Toombs is here. David Toombs. I'm sorry. I just saw David Toombs. He saw
David.
13 Hours 5 times.
Wow, he's great.
So do we have to do
such
this?
a good
Chris?
movie.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Like this is why Hollywood is so ridiculous. I mean, it's becoming like a joke in itself. Like there are people that like stars and directors where they come on set and you can't look at them. I think that's the ridiculous thing in the world to us, so that's my
Bad
joke.
Rob,
Bad
he
Rob.
says he ain't looking in your eyes.
Yeah.
I stood in for Demi Moore. I used to call her Demi Moore, but I was corrected on set. They said I mispronounced her name. But
how do you say it? How do you say it?
Never Demi, I guess, but she never looked at me for 3.5 weeks, and then one day I was in Central Park with, I forget who it was, but anyway, I went to get up and almost fell, and she kind of caught me, and that was the only time we had like a connection. But it's weird. That is weird, Chris. I think that's wrong.
Look, William, like, you got like William Friedkin, who did The Exorcist. Like, he used to slap his actors in the face,
What?
But he made great movies. Okay, so he's probably the only one that
God.
I tried slapping an actor one time. No,
is that why Linda Blair's head spun around?
Yeah.
But like Bergman and Eastwood, and there's so many great directors that made so many great movies. And I mean, look, I'm sure they showed many sides, but I don't think you need to do that to make a great scene. I do think that when an actor is doing a serious scene, that I think the crew needs to separate themselves and allow the actor to do their job. But I don't think you should establish a work environment on set where you can't, like, we're all collaborating, we shouldn't be afraid of
camaraderie.
These people that show up to bring either your vision or your performance to life.
I think I read once that Francis Ford Coppola made Martin Sheen in the beginning of Apocalypse Now. He was like reminding him of horrible stories of his mother dying or something to bring out that reaction when when he broke the glass and he was actually crying. Wow. It was like it was amazing. You have to
trigger.
Well, that I mean, that I think
that's necessary either.
I think that's necessary. I mean,
more than I do. So.
Elia Kazan, there's a movie called Viva Zapata.
With Marlon Brando
and Anthony Quinn, and I think that was Elia Kazan, but he did the same thing. He told like Marlon Brando or Anthony Quinn, one of the two. He said, like he's been flirting with your girlfriend or something like that. Wow. He did, and then the scene was became like something else. So look, you as a director, your job is to get the scene. You have to, even if you're, I think this is what Kazan said in his book, is that you have to find that golden nugget in the scene. So if you start filming a scene with actors, if you wrap that location and finish that scene and you haven't gotten something great, whether it's a line or a little bit of performance or just the way that the light's hitting or a shot, if you don't have something great, then you got to keep filming until you get it.
You get it. So, my Uncle Vince is here, and he says he remembers your dad, Stuart, in almost every picture he made. He was great.
That's so nice.
Hey, Uncle
Please
Vince.
support my movie. That's why I'm here. I'm always begging for money. I had lunch today with some friends, and I said I feel sorry for you guys, and because you know me. And they were like, why? And I said, because you're friends with a filmmaker. I feel very sorry for you because I'm always looking for money. I'm always trying to find money, but here I am.
That's the process. And there's your link for your fundraiser. Tell us, Chris, heart to heart here. Why is this film so important to you? And what kind of impact do you think it'll have on audiences?
Somebody, they're in their life, and he was pretty much my dad, but of course, you're too busy doing your own things and you don't talk to them enough. You don't ask them questions. You don't and so this is my way of making up for what I should have done when he was alive, but you know what? I don't think Stuart would have wanted to be interviewed. I don't think he would have wanted to talk about his life, but, I kind of wanted to, give him, he really didn't like talking about himself. It was more about the work. So, I think it's important to me because I get to go through the process of seeing this person that I knew really well and really examining his work. So I'm making this so that I can go back and watch all those episodes and watch all those movies that he was in. I mean, his scene in Death Wish was integral to the story. It was so important to the story. And I'm going to be interviewing the son of the producer of the Death Wish for this, but cool. Great movie. And the son of Bobby Roberts, Todd Roberts. But his scene was so important to that, but he brought so much to the role. So I get to go back and look at his life, but also there's so much personal stuff that's going to be in this that people don't know about, that because I grew up with him. But now, why is it important to other people? Well, I mean, the fans of the Rockford Files are all of Stewart's fans, because there's a few that really didn't like Stewart because he always got Jim Rockford in trouble,
In
and
trouble.
they're like, no, don't like him, you know. But that's very small. Most of the fans, and actually, by the way, the James Garner fan page is helping me with this, and also
Oh, that's
James
great.
Garner's daughter, Gigi Garner, is helping me also. I think it's really cool that Rockford's or Garner's daughter and Angel's son are kind of friends now.
Oh,
You
that's
know,
great.
Together.
yeah.
That's great.
I haven't pulled any big tricks on her, but anyways, no, she's great. But I think for the fans, this will be really important because um, it's the show that they love so much, so they get to learn a little bit more about one of the characters that they really loved. I mean, this was a time in television, the golden era of television, when TV was like really good. And
Right,
so
for sure.
like
That is
they've
for
all
sure.
watched the
Yes.
episodes 100 times, like the rabid fans have. And this is just going to give you a little bit more about Stewart's life.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah, I can't wait to
Um,
see it. It really
so,
sounds fascinating.
yeah, how will the money be used and why is it so important? I have this GoFundMe link up here. Anyone that is watching, we hope that you'll contribute to Chris Martini's film, Everybody's Angel. Every, I mean, if a large amount of people, everyone gives a little bit, it adds up and it
Yeah.
gets done. But
Well,
how will you use the money? What's the
well,
most expensive part of your budget, I guess?
well, first of all, don't pay attention to these angel memes that I'm creating. Like, I'm creating all these sort of fake memes, like, no, really, Jimmy, I really need the money. I'm gonna spend it. Why? I don't know what I've written a bunch of these things, but don't listen to those. Like, the money will go to the movie. It's just sort of like Angel doing his thing. But no, right now we're going to need a lot of money for this, but we're starting small. So it's going to kind of go in phases. But right now we're trying to raise $10,000 just to get to LA and shoot interviews with. I'd love to get Rita Moreno. I'd love to get Tom
Yeah.
Selleck, Ted Danson. These are all people that knew him that are still alive. Billy D. Williams. Uh, you know, David Chase. There's so many actors that knew him. So I'd love, obviously it's going to be really hard to get these people, but if I get, 3 of them, it's great. And then I'll film some crew members that are still alive from the Rockford Files and visit some of the places where we lived in LA and that kind of thing. And, and then we can get some interviews in the can. Then the next level is like, if we could raise a little more, if we could raise $50,000, and what I could do is I could shoot some more B-roll. I could go to my mom's house. I could go, to the Pasadena Playhouse where he studied acting. I could get some interviews in New York, and then, we just build up. But, the thing that's going to be the most expensive is archival footage, like, because it's 60 years of shows that we need to license. So
Wow.
I'm hoping,
Wow.
obviously you can't show all of that, but it's a very expensive to show a scene from Death Wish or Arbitrage. He was in Arbitrage with Richard Gere. It's expensive to license that stuff. So I think, ultimately we're probably going to need it to bring in bigger investors to raise, $700,000 just for archival footage, and so documentaries are really expensive, you guys know. And but just little steps to get there, because with the interviews, I could take the footage without, just to raise money to get some big investors later. But that's basically how I plan to spend it. We're almost halfway there though, so the fans they're showing up.
Good.
Absolutely. I
Great.
hope Michael Mazzu says ciao. Michael, you worked with Rita Moreno. Can you call her and say Chris
Yeah,
wants to
exactly.
talk
There you
to
go.
her?
That's a good connection.
He did
It's
Santa
amazing.
boot camp with her.
Yeah, exactly.
She took a liking to Michael. She told him a lot of stories. One in particular about Marlon Brando, right,
Right.
Michael?
Yeah, that was a great story.
But
No, I mean she's great. I mean, I'm actually, because she's in her 90s now, and I don't know
Yeah.
that she even is able to interview, but but I'm kind of doing this actually she's the reason I kind of started this crowdfunding, because I realize, like a lot of the people that knew Stuart are old and older, and I need to do this quick, and she
Yeah.
actually really is what lit a fire here. Now I don't know that I'm going to get her, but
Yeah.
I think, if I'm going to contact people's agents, of course, if somebody knows Rita, hey, please, I think that's
Yeah.
awesome. But if I contact the agents of some of these actors, I think a lot of them are going to say yes, because I think they knew Stuart really well, and Stuart was a great guy in person. He really he did a lot for people, and
He seems like he would have been very likable, very
yeah,
likable.
he had a lot of friends. I don't think there was anyone that didn't like Stuart, so he did a
Everybody's
lot right.
angel.
Yeah.
Appropriate for who he was and also for his
Well,
character's name, right?
that title, so he was Angel in the Rockford Files, but the title came to me because, my parents split up at a really early age. So he came in as kind of as our dad when I was 2 years old. So he was
Oh, wow.
our angel. He did help my family, a lot.
Sweet.
And, so and he never wanted his own kids. He was perfectly happy with having stepchildren, so
I know the feeling.
yeah. Barry knows. If they're great kids, so there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're such a good dad, Barry.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, try to be.
I loved him in the Rockford Files, Bad Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
James Coates said he remembers the Mesh episode too.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was so good. Yeah,
Was-
really, really
yeah.
awesome episode.
Yeah.
When you're in this phase, Chris, and you're on a new project, do you sleep much, or are the thoughts racing through your head? Are you inspired, on fire, like 24/7? How do you function? What's your artistic process like? Are you
Like I think I worked I worked on a film set. I was working in editing on a TV show, and there was a director that came in and directed an episode, and he was about to go back onto the set. He came into the editing room to see how the editing was going. He was going to go back on set, and Spanish guy. And I when he was going back, I said, "Good luck, like good luck shooting," that kind of thing. And he turned to me and he's like, "It's not about luck, it's about fate," you know. And
wow?
and like and I remember that because now having directed for so long, I think that's absolutely true. And you know what, to answer your question, no, I used to be that way. I used to, where I couldn't sleep and I couldn't
Yeah.
turn off. But as I get older, I realize this is not me that's controlling this. You know what I mean? This is
Yeah.
it's absolutely fate, so and what that does is it takes away fear. I think fear keeps you up, and fear that
Mm.
and fear and creativity, and it's like it's intoxicating when you're younger, but I think as you get older and you kind of mature into the arts, like it's just I stop worrying, because I know that when you tell God you want to do something, and then you just let him, like
Yeah.
you're obviously pushing things forward, but it's like he's the one. Whatever you believe, that thing is the
Yeah.
one that once you will that, it's just you just watch it happen. You don't have to worry. I mean, like, this
Yeah.
film is going to get made because I want it to, and I've said I want to do this, and Yeah, so I approach things very calmly, and I'm trying to slow down and not worry, and just sort of uh, take my time and really think through things, as opposed to just going frantically.
Nice. Yeah, Angie. Angie says, "Amen." Angie
Mhm.
well, I call her Andy Coos,
Right,
right?
exactly.
I
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
I love Angie. No, she's
Yes.
the
She's
best.
beautiful. Yeah, it's not about luck, it's about fate. Michael is repeating what you said. Yeah, Michael Coos. Um,
I love
yeah, I
Michael.
mean,
Yeah, no,
God is the executive producer, yeah, in my opinion, and I could hear you're saying the same. So that gives you peace. It does give you peace.
well, it's like you let God do the fighting. It's like let God make the movie. Also, I mean, he's like this. I'm just a vehicle for now that I know that he's important. Sorry, I didn't mean to turn this into like a
No, I love it.
That's all right.
uh,
Yeah. Say
this,
whatever you want.
but I do think about these things a lot. It's like now that I've made him a priority, I feel like he can work through me and make this for me,
Nice.
and because I'm it's not me, it's just him, I'm just like I'm trying to get his message into what I do. And then look, Stuart wasn't a Christian, but he was like a very generous guy. I don't even know if he believed in God. I really don't know, but he lived his life as if he did, and he made a lot of people love him and happy, and he brought a lot of joy to people uh, through comedy. And so
That's what matters.
I've been making these heavy documentaries, political stuff, and
Right.
I'm really excited about this because, as I said before, I get to watch all his shows. I mean, this
Yeah.
is going to be so much fun
Fun.
for me to make, because I get to watch all that funny stuff that he did. This is why I try to write positive stuff. I got to focus more on like love and comedy, and just because you
Yeah.
live with the movie for 5 years, so you don't like. This is why I don't want to do horror. I wrote a horror script, but I don't know that I fully want to make this, because it's like you're going to be in that zone as the filmmaker for years, and so
Yeah.
it has the subject matter has a way of like pulling you down, like.
Yeah. It
And
does.
I'm charged, because this is funny. This is going to be so much fun. I
I
mean,
bet. I bet.
you know,
Well, we're excited for you.
And Chris,
Hey.
our friend Jack, can be in charge of the horror movies anyway. He loves that.
well, Jack, Jack, I want to, Lisa, you're going to be in one of my movies when I do a narrative. And then Barry, you're doing all the
I'm
stills.
there.
I'm ready.
Jack and Mandy
I'm
are
ready.
producing everything
All
I
right.
do. So,
I love
You
it.
guys are a great team. You
yeah,
guys are an amazing team.
yeah,
Who's
no.
Gary? Gary Patron says you're the man, Martini.
Oh, Gary Patron is, I
part of
am
the
not
team
the
too.
man. Gary Patron is the man. As soon as I started saying God, he shows up. See, this guy is like, no. So, Gary is one of these guys that, you just want to have around all the time, because
Nice.
he's like, he's got, this guy has so much magnetism. Hi, Gary. I have a couple friends like that. It's just people love being around guys like Gary, because they have so much personality. They just have that magnetism, that way of
Yeah.
like talking to people, anyone, just kind of bringing the world
Charismatic.
together.
And
Yeah.
Gary's he's a great guy too. He's a good guy.
Yes, and
Gary.
he's a budding filmmaker.
Quit lying. LOL. Mandy Smith, we're all a great team. Hugs and kisses. You have so many people surrounding you, and so much love and support, including your friend Barry and myself. And I continue to meet
Everybody loves
amazing. Yeah, I'm meeting.
He's talented,
amazing
great
people
guy,
through Barry.
good friend, loyal friend. We love him.
Yes.
So I always wish
Barry,
him the best.
you're a great host, and
Really? Thanks so.
Yeah.
I never saw myself as a host. I always figured,
It's
let Lisa take
amazing.
over. I'll just sit here and drink. But
Stop it.
Now, Shelly, I don't. It kind of bugs me that I don't have a spot for Shelly on my film. I haven't figured out where, because I like to bring people into it.
I
But
know she
don't
refuses
care.
to be on camera, even though she'll look better than all of us.
She's
But
so beautiful. I wanted to interview her,
but she will
I
not
don't.
go on camera.
Yeah, I would never force her.
I would love for
Well,
you.
she won't go on my camera. She goes on your camera.
Yeah, but that trust me, I have 2 seconds to capture her photo. Then she says, "I'm done," and
I'm done,
and she's out. So yeah, she's a
No,
pest.
I love you guys. I mean, it's like, you know, I had a political shift in 2019, and I lost a lot of friends, but then I gained some of the greatest friends ever. And
Yeah,
you know,
same here. You know me. We're on the same boat there.
It's a very small circle, but I love it. And
Yes.
Lisa, like you guys,
But it's the
you
best
and-
circle. It's the best.
Oh,
Shelley
yeah.
is on
We're
here.
lucky.
Love
We're
you
blessed.
guys. Shelley is saying, love you guys. Yeah, but you know, we're like-minded. We stick together, and
Yeah, we're
I
patriots.
wanted to honor
we love
our country, our flag for
Yeah.
the holiday
Yeah.
weekend.
freedom.
Yes, freedom. We
Yeah,
love
no,
it.
we're excited about the weekend, and we're all patriots. So you're a perfect
Yes.
guest to have on for July 4th, before July 4th. So love
Yeah, I this country definitely needs healing, and I do think, like, you know, the arts can do a lot. I think, you know, if we can,
Amen. Oh,
if
yes.
you know, but I think you need to have creators that want to take the country and the world to a better place. You know, I don't
Of
think
course. That's
you're
so-
not going to see
Absolutely.
you're not going to see content like that unless, like, the people creating it really want that, you know. So
Right.
you know, so that is another thing that I pray for, is, like, you know, how can we, you know, heal the world? I mean, you got to be strong, because you got to deal
Yeah.
with the bad guys, but you know, you got to bring people together. But you know, Stewart, what he, you know, the comedy, and it's just, and you know, through this film, like, it's kind of great because I'm talking to all these fans, and there's nothing political. It just, everyone just thought he was funny. You know, he just did
Yeah.
the craziest
Well, he
thing.
lit up the screen when he entered a scene. He just like took it over and lit up the screen, and I just remember growing up and seeing him. But
Mhm.
I think for you, that journey of going through the process of filmmaking, collecting the archive footage, and then editing, like, you're reliving that life with him, and I think it's beautiful that you get to do that. My mom passed when she was 51, and you know, we always try to find some pictures of her. We have no video of her at all. And my cousin had a wedding, I forget whose wedding it was, a VHS tape where you could see my mom for like 5 seconds. And I'll tell you, you know, I found an old, you know, VHS tape deck and played that over and over and over just to get a glimpse of her, you know. And I just think it's beautiful that you have this, and what a beautiful person Stewart was, and to you and your family, and now you get to kind of revisit that all over again through this documentary, and then share it with us.
Yeah, and you know, just it having, you know, being a lover of cinema, you know, it can't just be a home movie. So, you know, this is gonna be a story that's told, you know, dramatically, you know, through that, you know, because Stewart wasn't just that, you know. So, you know, there's got to be an arc of the story. It's got to go somewhere, you know. So it does, you know, it does, because he was a lot more than that. He was a very, you know, passionate artist. So I think, you know, the arc of the film is really showing how, you know, yes, he was Angel, but then he was also the opposite of that character, you know.
Chris, how many seasons was Rockford Files?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up. I'm curious.
You have to ask AI. Ask Claude.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I literally have to buy all of them and rewatch them. Of course, I've seen
Oh
many.
wow.
So I'm also learning through, like, when I make this also. So because and I'm learning a lot from the fans. If you follow us on Facebook and Instagram, I've actually, so the official James Garner page uh, has been helping, and so a lot of those fans have come to
Is
uh,
that your Insta?
yeah, that's
Your
Instagram, but I don't know if so basically on Instagram, just put in Everybody's Angel,
All right.
and
okay.
you'll find it. But there might be a little bit more activity on X and Facebook. Actually, most of it's on Facebook, because this is sort of an older crowd that knew the show,
Right.
and so a lot of them are on Facebook. But a lot of those Rockford fans have come to this page, and
Oh,
when
cool.
I ask something like, "What was your favorite Angel moment?" I mean, I'm just, there's so many things that I'm learning from the fans about what the best Angel moments were, and there were so many, and just, so I'm making this for the fans, and I'm making it with the fans, because they're helping me kind of
Yeah.
shape the story. They're telling me, I
Well,
mean,
that's right.
Stewart's chess scene with Garner, where they're playing chess, and he says, "You're through, Jimmy." Like, those are kind of the top scenes that everybody loves. So it's really cool. The James Garner was such a good guy in real life too.
That's good to hear. Seems like he
Yeah,
Yeah,
would be.
he
that is
was.
good to know.
How much time are we? Do
We're
I have?
good. We
Go
have
ahead.
time.
Okay, so
Yeah, go for it.
um,
6 seasons. Bad Rob says 6 seasons.
Oh, thank you.
six.
Thank you, Rob. That's interesting.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Rob.
Good run.
Um, so uh, yeah, Garner gave me some of the money. So when I was in NYU film school, I was raising money. I'm always looking for money for my student film, and James Garner sent me a check for 500. Now at the time, that was a
That's
lot
That
of
was good.
awesome.
money for me,
Right.
Yeah.
because I was like living on like bagels. I was working in a espresso bar, and I had no money. So I
Ramen
was like,
noodles.
I not even ramen noodles. I was working in an espresso. I couldn't afford ramen noodles. I was working in an espresso bar,
I
and
remember my ramen noodles days.
at the end, no, that would have been great. At the end of the
Yeah.
night, basically, I had to take those little sandwiches that they have at the espresso bar, and
Right.
like angel food cake and stuff. Like, just like, I was living on carbs basically. But
Yeah.
but Garner sent me this check for $500, and I still have the
That's
pay
amazing.
stub.
Oh,
So
I
I'm
love
gonna
that.
put
That's so
the
cool.
pay stub. But
That's
I got
awesome.
to meet
Right.
him, when I worked on the movie of the weeks in Los Angeles. They
Mm.
did Rockford Files movie of the weeks in the '90s, and that's when I was working as a production assistant with the giant air conditioner. He had this. I wish I had that thing right now. I'm so hot. Um, but when James Garner worked on set, he had to have this giant air conditioner, and it was like a truck. It was like a semi. It was a semi truck with these like
Big
giant
hose.
tubes, like,
Tubes.
and they're like it's like ET, going through the tunnel, and like I had to like, because we'd be filming on this floor of this building, and then we would go down to a floor below, and I'd have to run the tube through
Oh
the
my
whole
God.
building, like all day long. It was the crappiest job, but I did it because I wanted to learn, and I was like covered in dirt. But he was such a good guy. He treated everybody from the top. It didn't matter if you were the creator of the show or a really famous guest star,
Nice.
to bottom, what I was doing. He
Mhm.
treated everybody the same. Now I'm
Same.
directing. I'll never haul that. I've never do anything like that again. But but he
It's good to
treated
hear about him, though. That's good to
That
hear.
is.
everybody the same, like they were a superstar.
Mhm.
I
And
love that.
his films had, or TV shows had the best caterer in town, you know. So
Nice.
you know, no, like they were no, this caterer was like known as being the best, and you go there and it's like if you want a T-bone steak, you
Wow.
know, for lunch, you can get it, whatever you want. Like they had it. It was like,
I love to hear when
and
they treat talent
oh,
and
and
production
so you,
well, you know.
The
well,
same way.
you hear like, so when the Rust thing, the Rust set where Alec Baldwin and you know somebody
Oh, yeah.
died,
Oh,
and
yeah,
you know
yeah.
the
Awful.
DP died, and
Mm.
like I've been working on film sets my whole life, and you know that kind of stuff happens when the producers don't care, when the producers
Mm.
try to line their pockets and try
Mhm.
to cut corners and overwork people
Yeah.
and make people drive hours and hours to get to set, and then give them and make them be there,
Yeah.
5 a.m, you know, after working till midnight, you know, and
Wow.
just stuff like that. Then and you hire the wrong person because you don't want to pay what you
Right.
should for the right
Yeah.
True.
person, and then you hire an armorer that doesn't know what she's doing, and
Mm.
then somebody dies, or somebody, you know, gets into
Awful.
Yeah, it's a
a car
tragic
accident
accident. Yeah.
Yeah.
after work because they're so tired and their heads
Right.
bobbing from, you know, it's like, so you know, I've been on film sets my whole life, and I just when I see stuff like that, I don't blame the armorer. To be honest, she shouldn't have been there, right? She
Right.
shouldn't have been
Right.
doing that job. You know,
Right.
I blame the producer, but like Garner is the antithesis of that. He is the complete opposite. It's like this is the kind of mentality that we need when we're making films, because
Yeah.
we need producers that care, that are
Care.
willing to put the money where you put the money where you need to put it. And that's, you know, it's all about script, cast, but above that is safety, you know, safety
Absolutely.
and treating your crew well. And look at these episodes of the Rockford Files. They were so great because I'm sure the people that were working on them were like really taken care of, you
Taken
know.
care of.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so he was a great guy. He really was.
Good to
I
hear.
love I love hearing
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
because we've heard all the horror stories on
Right.
set
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
we've experienced them, some of us. Yeah. So
Yeah.
no. Well, Chris, anything before we leave, because we could talk to you for hours and really enjoying this and love the stories and just love how humble you are. And I love that you know, paid your dues and you worked the grubbiest production job, but it gave you a great respect for the art of filmmaking, and it brought you to a great level of success. So we're just
Well,
really happy to have
we
you.
haven't, you know, we haven't really. I guess I'd like to close with we haven't really talked about our heroes, and I've done so much of that in my
Yes.
past film, and you know, I'm putting together a film school called you can Google it, called Christopher Martini CMFS, Christopher Martini Film School, but you know, I've trained veterans, and you know, I'm going to be doing, and you're, you know, Lisa, you're training veterans, so you
Yes,
know, to make film,
please hire our drone pilot
yeah,
veterans.
we should, you know, I guess to close it out, I mean, we didn't even talk about our heroes, and that's the reason we're sitting here, and that's the reason, you
Yes.
know, we all can do what we want to do, and you know, and so
True.
you know, I've actually devoted a big part of my life towards, you know, telling stories that shed light on what, you know, veterans and first responders are going through. So I don't want to really end it on me. I actually want to bring it back to the purpose of why I'm sure you're doing this podcast, and you know,
Heroic episodes. Yeah,
it's
great respect
you
for our
know,
heroes. Those who
it's the
protect and
fourth
serve us. Hmm.
it's the 4th of July, and you know, everything goes back to them, and you know, and you know, yeah, that's
Well,
I just
you
Yeah.
who in your family was in the military? I think your great grandfather or your grandfather and your
my grandfather was a World War II veteran. He was in the
okay.
Navy, and during World War II, he was a gunnery officer in the Navy, And he did have a profound effect on me. I think my whole veteran thing started when I made it. Started during 9/11 because I saw people being deployed and coming home, and that I was just right at the right age where it was starting. I was starting to see what was really going on in the world, and that
Sure.
veterans weren't being taken care of. But that's where it really started for me. It was from starting to care about veterans and making movies. And when I made movies, I started to talk to more of them. And when I started to talk to more of them, that's how it became important to me, you know.
Yeah, that makes total sense. That's how it started for me when Barry introduced me to retired Army Captain Leslie Nicole Smith, Gary Sinise's ambassador, and she took my acting class at Barry's studio, and we shared our individual stories of trauma, and she just blew us away. I mean, she was amazing on camera. Remember when she came in with Isaac?
Never forget
Barry?
that day.
Yeah.
Amazing day.
She was just so positive, and like
Yeah.
you have like 35 New York City actors watching this veteran walk in with a service dog, and you could just see on their face like, what is she gonna do? She's
Right.
legally blind, she's an amputee. On camera, she was a level of comfortability that most of my actors in class didn't have, and
Very true.
just so beautiful, so positive, and that's what inspired me. And then when I learned about what she had been through, and then I shared with her, my survival of my domestic violence assault, and some of the same, trauma, the PTS, and I was diagnosed agoraphobic, and she was just amazing. And again, meeting someone through Barry, it's always someone amazing, someone inspiring, and
Yeah.
we bonded. Yeah.
Barry is actually Barry's like the puppet master. He's
the
like
the community
I mean,
builder.
no, he is. I mean, a lot of what I'm doing can be traced back to Barry. I mean,
Barry.
Thanks, guys.
no, I'm serious. So
It's true.
I
owe a
love
lot to
connecting
him.
great people and patriots together, especially
Barry and Shelley. I owe a lot to you
Oh,
guys, and Jack
we love
and
you.
Mandy, and
Yep.
we're
have
all
a good
we're all
team.
kind of helping each other.
Yes.
And Lisa, and
He is the
but
connector, Shelley says.
back to so one of the greatest things about making a movie is you learn about what you're making the movie about. It brings you into like a community. Like you're doing a film. This is what I love the most. You're doing a film about I feel like I'm in like Guatemala or something right now.
You probably lost about 20 pounds sitting out in 100
I'm like,
degrees. He's
but-
fading away.
No, I mean, I did a film on an Indian reservation. It was super cool. I was like at sweat lodges, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Are there any new members? Are there any new members in here?" And I'm like, "Quiet," but
Sweat
like with the veteran thing, it's just I never went back from that because I was like, I met these men and women, and they just who've been through the most horrific things, and then but they come back and like they're
resilient.
there's some of them are suffering, many of them, but they're just remarkable human beings to be able to be so awesome and go through that. And it's just and it's just it's so important what they're doing, what our military does for us that people don't realize, and they really still don't get it. A lot of people still don't get it.
Unfortunately, you're right.
They don't get
They do what we can't do, right?
they don't understand what we have. They don't, and it until they do.
Yeah, those who take freedom for granted don't realize why we have freedom.
Yeah.
Because these
and the veterans are a window into how the rest of the world lives because they've seen it through their eyes. So I listen to more what they have to say than to politicians because they know they've seen it,
Well, Chris, going back to what we were talking about, like actors or directors who, you can't look at their face when they walk into a set. Who the hell do you think you are? It's like, we know veterans, they're the most humble, the
They're the
kindest people.
celebrities.
They're the real heroes. I mean,
They're the
what they've
heroes.
done,
Yeah,
what the sacrifice
yeah.
they've done, and they don't have that attitude. Can you imagine somebody who's like on a movie
Absolutely.
set, an actor, who thinks
Yeah.
he's a whatever, a movie star, who tells you can't look at me or you have to act this way or they look down at you? That's unacceptable, and I have no patience.
I mean,
No.
I'll meet the most famous person
Amen,
I
Barry.
have.
Mandy Smith says yes.
I've met so many famous people, and like honestly, most of the time it means nothing to me.
Right.
But then I'll meet a police officer,
Right.
or
Exactly.
or
Or a Navy SEAL or Marine or
a
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
even a grunt in the army,
Right. Of
and
course.
I'm speechless, and I
Right.
can't even, I'm like babbling because I'm like awestruck, and
Awestruck.
like.
Yeah.
Well, I
know-
always tell the story that I say that when I started off as a photographer, I wanted to hang out with or meet Mick Jagger or Jimmy Page or whatever. Now I want to hang out with a military, a veteran, or a Navy SEAL or Marine or a police officer. I'd much rather
For
hang out
sure.
with those guys.
Oh, yeah.
I'm more in awe of that than I am with any movie
Thank
star.
you,
rock
Ryan
star.
Weaver. Ryan Weaver says, "Look at these awesome people. You're
Ryan
awesome,
is
Ryan
great.
Weaver."
We love Ryan.
Yeah, we do.
Ryan is a whole other hour. I love Ryan.
Exactly.
Yes.
Ryan is another puppet master.
He
I've done-
was a great guest too. He was a great guest.
No,
We
I
love
mean,
Ryan. Also,
we want to have him back.
another guy somebody who served our country and also happens to be a very talented singer. So yeah, we love Ryan.
He is.
I mean, some of the work I've done with Ryan is just some
Yeah,
of
you
the
guys
stuff
work
that
together.
I'm most
You direct
most
his
proud
videos.
of, I mean,
I want
when
to
you-
be
when-
on set with everyone. Everyone's
know, yeah.
connected here. I love it.
Exactly.
well,
This is
Lisa,
great.
we're gonna work together soon.
Yes, we are.
Maybe we should just do a movie. Maybe we should do a movie about us.
Doing directing Ryan's video. Let's talk about heroes. Like
I love that song.
Beautiful song.
every
Great
like not everything that Ryan's been through and his family's been through, and
Yes.
his service to the country, and the
Two-time
fact that
Gold Star
his
family.
and his talent, as a singer songwriter and now actor. So it's the same thing. I'm like, when I work with these people, I'm in awe. I'm in awe.
Yes.
And so I that was such an incredible opportunity to do that video, and I just really wanted to do a great job with it, and you can see why. I just told you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And actually, we should
Absolutely.
mention Ryan did debut a new song tonight, so we should all check it out.
He just released it, right?
Yes, so we should check that
That's
out.
right.
Yeah. So good for him.
Chris
Good
and
luck
I
with that.
spent time in the backwoods of Georgia. Let's talk about heroes. Yeah, that song. My husband was singing it after
Oh, that's
he
so
heard
great.
it. Yeah. It
Yeah,
stays with
Ryan.
you.
Ryan took me out hog hunting. I'll never forget that. That was no, it's like
Oh wow, that could be another show, hog hunting with Ryan Weaver and Chris Martini.
Exactly.
well, I got to play with some toys out there in the woods. It was pretty fun.
That's awesome.
Scared a lot of my my liberal friends. I haven't seen that.
Vicky, you're absolutely right. Captain Leslie Nicole Smith, she lights up a room. She does.
He does.
Her humility, her
Yeah.
kindness, her resilience. Yes.
Jessica Lynch is another one. Jessica Lynch is
Yes.
another one.
Yeah, we hope to have her on as a guest.
Yes,
Barry.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get her in my studio for the longest time. I'm dying to take her photo. She needs a really good photo. So, but I was blessed to meet her one time in Florida. I think the same trip we met you. Just amazing girl.
Yeah, whenever these shoots are done with veterans, or it's like the family splitting up. Like, I'm sad. I'm always
Right.
sad when
Sure.
because I really like being around them. And police officers also.
Right.
They were the
Yeah.
best on my film set. They were the best, the veterans.
Yes.
It was 98 degrees. We thought it was hot then, right? And I mean, I had over 40 some warrior watch riders on motorcycles, sweltering heat. We had an ice truck come in. It was like, but I mean, never complained, got the mission done.
Yeah.
I felt safe. I could focus on what I was doing, directing the actors. They had everything locked up together, rolling smoothly, and they loved it. And it was very healing for them being on set. I've shared this many
I'm
times.
working
that-
with a guy named Dallas Burgess, Jonathan Delaney Marsh is involved with this. He's a very experienced producer out in New Mexico. But Dallas Burgess I'm doing something with these guys. He's a veteran and he's a filmmaker and he's very talented.
Nice.
And he's starting a union for veterans called the Veterans Guild of America.
That's
You
great.
know,
I'd
where
love to
where
hear
you
that.
get certain incentives for hiring veterans. And I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer hiring veterans. I mean,
Yes.
you know, as you said, like they're going to show up on time, not complain, kick butt, get stuff
When things
done.
go sideways, they don't lose
Yeah,
it. They
you
keep it together.
yeah, you feel safe, you know, around them. And you know, certainly if there's a firearms on set, you're going to feel safer. You know, and also they won't try to extort you, you know. After.
I'm laughing, Chris. Ryan Weaver, I just saw his comment. Your first AR shot was a pine tree.
Yeah, but the pine tree was I hit it. I hit
Oh,
the
that
pine
tree
tree.
learned a lesson.
Many titimes.
That's great.
No, I think my shot was not bad. I think my stance needed a little work. But
That's great.
there were no hogs.
I was going to say, did you bag any
There
hogs?
were no hogs.
No,
Yeah,
not,
it's helpful to have hogs when you go hog hunting.
Hog hunting, yeah, for sure.
well, you can't. I didn't know this, but you can't eat them certain times a year. So I'm glad. If
Yeah,
I was
no.
out trying to survive in the woods, and I wouldn't know what season to eat a hog.
Right.
That's for sure.
Bad Rob. Holy smack eye, Batman. How did you do that? These comments are great. I love it. You're surrounded by friends that love you and are supporting you.
Yeah.
I encourage everyone to go to Christopher Martini's GoFundMe for Everybody's Angel. We want to support him. He's super talented. He's a good human being, inside and out. Big heart, and just doing great work, God's work. And we want to be here for you and support you. So let's raise this money for this film and
Absolutely.
get her done.
Write those checks.
Yes,
You say that very well.
get her
Well,
done.
thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. No, this
We
is
love you,
this is
Chris.
great. Yeah,
We love you. Thanks
too.
for being here.
We'll see you
We'll
on
have
text
to-
soon.
Yeah, we'll
I'll
have
come
to
back
get-
on.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll come back. I got some other things I'm working on too, but this is great. You guys,
Well,
you guys
everyone
are
again.
great.
Fill us in.
Great team.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're always welcome. And we'll have to do dinner again. But not
Yes.
not that New York City
no.
restaurant that kicked us out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, Lisa and
no,
John-
No. Oh, no.
Lisa and John have to join us for karaoke next time. We have our little karaoke nights with
Oh,
Mandy,
fun.
Mandy and Jack and Shelly, and we go to this little dive bar. It's a cool place, and Chris does a mean Johnny Cash, so you got to come join us.
Oh,
Oh.
baby, I'm there. I can't wait. But my husband will do the singing, not me.
Yeah,
Mandy
yeah.
Smith
Back-
says, "Love
Back to the
y'all."
restaurant that kicked us out. I'm Italian. I don't like to be rushed when I'm eating. You know. It's
Right.
like-
No,
Yeah, no,
we take
that was
our
weird.
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, good
I'm
night,
like I'm
everyone.
covered in sweat. You guys.
He's
This is
sweating.
crazy.
We
Chris
go back in the
Martini.
air conditioning. We're good.
He lost
was a great
weight
show.
during this interview
I know.
because it's
Yeah, you look great.
105, but you made it happen, even
Yeah.
though you're outside. We love you. Thanks for being here. Thank you, Barry. Hang on, guys. Don't go anywhere. Wishing
be here.
everyone a very blessed, happy 4th of July weekend. We'll see you next Thursday, 7 p.m. right here on
Here's to America.
Heroic Episodes Live. Happy birthday, America, right? God bless.
God bless.